Welcome to English Easy Peasy, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes, thank you for joining us today.
Your support means the world to us, and it's the real reason this channel keeps growing. So today's deep dive is a special one. It is part of our English listening exercise series.
Right, so you're going to improve your English today while also learning some pretty incredible life skills.
Exactly. The title of today's deep dive is Success Habits. Control your morning, control your life.
I love that title. It's so direct.
Yeah, it really is. And we're going to answer a question that, I think bothers almost everyone at some point. Why do some people seem to just achieve massive, rapid success while the rest of us are just struggling to make progress?
Right, especially since everybody has the exact same 24 hours in a day.
Exactly. I mean, imagine waking up, you open your eyes, and before your feet even touch the floor, you've already made like 40 decisions.
Oh, yeah, just right there in bed.
Yeah. You reach for your phone to silence the alarm.
Oh, right.
And immediately, boom, you see a notification from your boss about a project delay.
The worst way to wake up.
Then next to it is a breaking news alert about the economy. And right below that, some perfectly curated photo of a stranger's vacation.
Right, someone having a better time than you.
Exactly. And in the span of 30 seconds, you have processed a work crisis, spiked your anxiety with global news, compared your life to a stranger, and just flooded your whole system with cortisol.
And you haven't even brushed your teeth yet.
Right. Your brain is already running a marathon.
It is a profound shock to the human nervous system. You are transitioning from the deepest state of biological vulnerability sleep straight into high-stakes, hyper-reactive defensive posture.
Wow. A defensive posture.
Yeah, and the crazy part is you are doing it voluntarily.
That is wild. So today we are pulling apart some fascinating source material to show you why the very first hour of your day, what we call the power of the first hour, is dictating the entire trajectory of your life.
It really is the start button for everything else.
As reported in our sources, there's this overlap between high-performance habits and, interestingly enough, natural language acquisition.
Yeah, it sounds like those two things wouldn't be related at all.
Right. Mastering your productivity and mastering English seem completely different. But they require the exact same neurological toolkit.
Absolutely. The fundamental premise here is that human beings don't fail because they lack intelligence,
Right.
They fail because their daily engine is just flooded with the wrong fuel from the moment they wake up.
So let's talk about the 24-hour myth. I hear people say, well, successful people just have more time.
Which is physically impossible.
Right. But it feels like they're operating on a 30-hour clock.
Yeah. But as reported, that illusion of time scarcity is the first barrier we have to tear down. The fundamental difference between a high achiever and someone who feels constantly behind is not time capacity.
What is it then?
It's cognitive preservation. They protect their brain.
Okay, so going back to the phone on the nightstand, when you grab it, you are letting the outside world press your start button.
Exactly. You are forcing your brain into survival mode.
Survival mode.
Yeah. When you are asleep, your brain waves are in these slow patterns. As you wake up, you naturally transition into an alpha state like a calm, relaxed awareness. That is the perfect state for your prefrontal cortex to come online. That's the part of your brain that handles long-term planning and deep focus.
But the phone ruins that.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
When you look at a stressful email immediately, you bypass that calm state entirely. You jolt your nervous system directly into high alert.
You're basically triggering the amygdala.
Yes. The amygdala is your brain's threat detection center.
Wow.
In evolutionary terms, waking up to an urgent notification is the exact same thing to your brain as waking up to a predator in your cave.
Wait, really? A predator?
Literally. Your body releases a massive spike of adrenaline. Your heart rate shoots up. Your vision physically narrows.
That explains why I feel so stressed before breakfast.
Right. Your brain pulls resources away from long-term planning because, well, you don't need to plan your future if you're running from a lion.
That makes so much sense. You spend the rest of the day just trying to calm your nervous system down.
Exactly.
I always thought of it like jumping onto a treadmill that is already running at full speed.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
Yeah, you're just instantly off balance. But it's worse than that. Your brain thinks the treadmill is trying to kill you.
No wonder so many people hit a wall by 10 in the morning.
Right. That exhaustion isn't from working hard. It's from the amygdala running in the background for 3 hours.
Scanning for threats.
Yeah, reacting to 100 microstressors. So the antidote to this is what the sources call controlling the morning.
Which requires a serious mindset shift.
Now, when I hear control your morning, I picture some intense tech CEO waking up at 3 in the morning, right?
Taking an ice bath.
Exactly. Drinking a kale smoothie and screaming affirmations. It sounds exhausting.
It really does. But the mechanism described in the source is actually much softer than that.
Soft? In what way?
It's just about establishing a protective buffer. You are building a fortress around your freshly rested attention.
So keeping the amygdala offline.
Yes, for as long as possible.
So if we aren't looking at our phones, what are we doing?
Oh.
We can't just stare at the ceiling.
No, you need a morning routine. And as reported, there are 3 foundational pillars here.
Okay, let's break them down.
Meditation, physical activity, and learning time.
All right, pillar 1. Meditation. I know that word scares people.
They think of sitting cross-legged for an hour.
Right, trying to be enlightened.
Yeah.
But the source says just 5 minutes. Right?
Just 5 minutes. It's not about enlightenment. It is neurological clearing.
Like clearing the down.
Exactly. When you wake up, there is residual cognitive static. Anxiety about the day, random thoughts.
Like restarting a sluggish computer.
Perfect comparison. You just sit quietly, focus on your breath, and tell your nervous system that you are safe. You create a clean slate.
Okay, so the slate is clean. Pillar 2 is physical activity. Why is that next?
Because a calm brain without energy is just lethargy. You will just fall back asleep.
Fair point.
You need to boot up the biological hardware. Light exercise, a walk, some stretching, it pumps oxygenated blood into the brain.
Especially the hippocampus, right?
Yes, which is crucial for learning. And it triggers the release of BDNF.
Wait, what is BDNF?
Brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of it as miracle fertilizer for your brain.
Oh, wow. Fertilizer for the brain.
It promotes the growth of new neurons. Combine that with a little dopamine from moving around, and you are primed for high-level thinking.
So the engine is warm. That brings us to pillar 3, learning time.
This is where you install the high-quality software.
And this is where the English learning part really comes in. As reported, if you want to learn a language, you shouldn't just study it mechanically.
Right. Traditional studying is all about flashcards and isolating variables.
It's agonizing. You stare at a card, repeat it, and an hour later, you've forgotten the word.
Because the brain didn't evolve to store abstract, disconnected data.
Exactly. So the source highlights something called natural acquisition.
This is how we all learned our mother tongue as babies.
We didn't use flashcards.
No. We tied concepts to real emotions and contexts. When a child learns the word hot, they feel the stove, they see their parents' face, they hear the warning.
It's a multi-sensory association.
Exactly. The brain makes it permanent, instantly.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
So for our listeners who are using this deep dive to improve their English, this ties perfectly into English immersion.
Yes. Just by listening to us talk right now, tracking the logic, picking up on our tone of voice, you are acquiring the language naturally.
You are experiencing it. But there's a catch, right? You can't just listen to anything.
No, it has to be comprehensible input.
Okay, let's explain that. Comprehensible input. What is the sweet spot?
As reported, it's content where you understand roughly 70 to 80% of what is being said.
So why not 100%?
If you understand everything, there is no friction. Your brain basically goes to sleep. You aren't growing.
And what if you only understand 10%?
Massive cognitive overload. Get frustrated, your cortisol spikes, and you quit.
So at 70 to 80%, you know enough context to guess the missing pieces.
Yes. And when your brain solves that puzzle on its own, it hardwires the new neural connection.
That is fascinating. Now, I want to pivot slightly because it ties into the next concept, passive learning.
Ah, yes. Passive learning is brilliant.
It's absorbing information while doing other tasks, like going for a walk or folding laundry.
Right.
But wait, I have to ask. We always hear that multitasking destroys focus. How is passive learning different from multitasking?
It's a great question. Multitasking two cognitive tasks is bad, like trying to write an essay while listening to a complex lecture.
Right. That creates a traffic jam in the brain.
Exactly. But passive learning combines a routine motor task like walking with a cognitive task like listening.
So they use different parts of the brain.
Yes. Your basal ganglia handles the walking, leaving your prefrontal cortex wide open to absorb the English audio.
That is a massive life hack right there. So you get your physical activity and your learning done at the same time.
It's highly efficient.
All right. Since this is an English learning exercise for our English Easy Peasy listeners, let's take a quick moment to extract some of the crucial vocabulary we've been using today.
I think that's a great idea. It reinforces the natural acquisition we just talked about.
Exactly. We've got about 12 key words here, as reported in our sources. Let's do a quick breakdown so you can truly master them. I will say the word, you give the definition, I'll give a real-world example, and then we will repeat the word.
Sounds like a perfect plan. Let's do it.
Okay, word number 1 is productivity. Productivity.
Productivity simply means how efficiently you are producing results or completing tasks.
Right. So an example would be checking your phone in bed destroys your morning productivity. Productivity. Perfect. Word number 2 is focus. Focus.
Focus means paying close attention to one specific thing and ignoring distractions.
For example, meditation helps improve your mental focus for the rest of the day. Focus. Word number 3 is routine. Routine.
A routine is a regular sequence of actions that you follow consistently.
Like building a solid morning routine is the key to a successful life.
Routine.
Number 4 is discipline. Discipline.
Discipline is training yourself to do what you need to do, even when you don't feel like it.
Exactly. It takes discipline to avoid looking at your screen first thing in the morning. Discipline.
Number 5 is achievement. Achievement.
An achievement is a thing done successfully, usually by effort, courage, or skill.
Learning a new language is a massive personal achievement. Achievement.
Word number 6 is planning. Planning.
Planning is the process of making arrangements for something before it happens.
Planning your outfit the night before saves you so much time. Planning.
Number 7 is immersion. Immersion.
Immersion means surrounding yourself completely in a new environment or language.
English immersion is the fastest way to become fluent. Immersion.
Word 8 is acquisition. Acquisition.
Acquisition is the process of learning or getting a new skill naturally. Natural language acquisition happens when you listen to real conversations. Acquisition.
Number 9 is comprehensible. Comprehensible.
If something is comprehensible, it means it is able to be understood.
Make sure the podcast is comprehensible so you don't get frustrated. Comprehensible.
Word 10 is passive. Passive.
Passive means accepting or allowing what happens, or learning without active, stressful studying.
Listening while you walk your dog is a great form of passive learning. Passive.
Number 11 is friction.
Friction.
In this context, friction means the resistance or difficulty you face when trying to start a task.
Planning ahead removes the friction from your morning. Friction.
And the final word, number 12, is fatigue.
Fatigue. Fatigue is extreme tiredness, either physical or mental.
Making too many choices in the morning leads to decision fatigue?
Fatigue.
Awesome. That was fantastic. Those words are so powerful when you start using them in your daily life.
Absolutely. And just hearing them in context makes them so much stickier for your brain.
Right. So let's get back to the narrative, because we need to talk about some actionable tips. How do we actually apply all of this?
Well, the biggest tip from the source material is the 90-minute rule.
The 90-minute rule. Okay, what is that?
High achievers treat the first 90 minutes of their day as unbreachable, non-negotiable territory.
So no phones?
No phones, no social media, no checking the inbox just to see.
Just a deep focus.
Yes. Even allocating just 10 to 15 minutes of this time for consistent learning changes everything.
10 minutes a day. That is so doable.
But the key is consistency. 10 minutes every morning changes your brain structure way more than a 4-hour cram session on Sunday.
Because the brain needs rhythm.
Exactly. But here's the secret to actually executing the 90-minute rule.
What's the secret?
It starts the night before.
Preparation.
Yes. You have to defeat something called decision fatigue.
Right, we just defined fatigue. Decision fatigue is a biological reality.
It really is. Your brain has a finite battery of energy for making choices every day.
Like a smartphone battery.
Yes. And the crazy thing is, deciding what color shirt to wear drains that same battery as deciding a major business strategy.
That is wild. So if you wake up with no plan,
You wake up and make 10 decisions, hit snooze, what to wear, what to eat.
you haven't even started working and your battery is at 60%.
Exactly. You are leaving all these background apps running.
So the actionable tip here is to plan your day the night before.
Spend 10 minutes at night, lay out your clothes, prep the coffee,
Sure.
write down your main task, cue up your English podcast.
That way, when you wake up, there is zero friction.
You don't have to choose to be disciplined, you just follow the track.
You wake up, meditate for 5 minutes, put on the clothes that are right there, step outside, and press play.
And you arrive at your desk with your cognitive battery at 99%.
That is just incredible. So to summarize for you, the listener, we debunked the 24-hour myth. It's about energy, not time.
We replace survival mode with the 3 morning pillars: meditation, physical activity, and learning.
We talked about how to use comprehensible input and passive learning to master English or any skill without friction.
And we protected that first hour with the 90-minute rule and planning the night before.
As reported in our sources, success isn't one big event. It is small habits repeated daily.
Over a week, you feel a difference. Over a month, you amaze yourself.
And over 3 months, everyone else notices. So we want to ask you a deep question to interact with us today.
Yes, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Please write your answer in the comments below. The question is, what is one habit you will start tomorrow morning to change your life?
I love that question. It really makes you commit.
I mean, think about tonight. What single tiny decision are you going to make tonight so tomorrow morning's version of you doesn't have to think at all?
Setting yourself up for success.
Exactly. How much of your future success is actually just a gift from your past self?
That is a powerful way to look at it.
So write your habit in the comments. We read every single one. And if you enjoyed this deep dive in this English listening exercise, please make sure to subscribe to the channel.
Hit that like button and share this with a friend who might need a morning routine upgrade.
Your support is the true reason English Easy Peasy continues to grow, and we appreciate you so much.
We really do. We wish you massive success in your English learning journey and in your life.
Set up your morning tonight. Control the morning.
And control your life.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We will see you in the next one. Take care.